look at adding unlike fractions. We've been working with like, now unlike. What's happening, right? Get your note packet ready while I move to present. And let's see what this entails. All right, so we're going on to our next lesson. Again, just focusing on the adding, but please fill in your entire learning target. I can add and subtract unlike fractions. So what are unlike fractions? Well, unlike fractions are fractions without the same denominator or without a common denominator. So for example, you see the two fractions that I have below, 1/2 and 4/5. One has a denominator of 2, one has a denominator of 5. They're not cut the same, are they? So before we can add them together, they have to be cut the same. That's how you need to think about it. And something you learned in previous grades is going to help us figure this out. We're going to have to find that common denominator. What we want to look for is something called the LCD, or least common denominator. What is the smallest number that they have in common? So you're looking through their multiples to see what the smallest one is that they have in common. For 2 and 5, the first multiple that they meet at is 10. So in order to make that denominator of 10 on 1/2, I need to multiply 2 by 5. What I do to my denominator, I also have to do to my numerator. So I have to do 2 times 5 in the denominator, 1 times 5 in the numerator. And that will get me my new equivalent fraction of 5/10 for 1/2. 4/5, 5 times 2 is 10. Since I'm multiplying the denominator by 2, then I'm going to multiply the numerator by 2. 4 times 2 is 8, so 8/10. Once you have that denominator in common, then we go back to our previous lesson of adding like fractions and just focus on those numerators. So let's give it a try here. Some steps that we're going to follow. If your problem comes to you horizontally, like this one has, we're going to ask that you rewrite it vertically so that you can line up your equivalent fractions and keep those in order a little bit better. You're going to find that common denominator, that LCD, and you're going to rewrite the equivalent fractions. And then we're going to start the process of adding. What kind of integers are in the numerators? Is it a party or battle? And then simplify. So our problem today is 9/10 plus negative 1/2. 10 and 2 are not common denominators. We're going to see what their least common denominator is, what's their lowest common multiple between the two. For 2 and 10, it's actually 10. So 9/10 is not going to change. But when I do my math, I still show that I multiply the numerator and denominator by 1. So making the equivalent fraction just what it is, 9/10. Negative 1/2, well, 2 times what is 10? 2 times 5. So 2 times 5 is 10 in the denominator. I need to multiply my numerator by 5. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Bring that negative along with it. Now we have 9/10 plus a negative 5/10. We're at step 4. Look at your numerators. You have a positive 9 and a negative 5. Is this a party or a battle? They're different integers. One's positive, one's negative, so it's a battle. And in a battle, we subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. Now, which of those integers is the greatest distance from 0? 9 or 5? 9 is. It's 9 steps from 0. That's more than 5. So our answer of 4 will stay positive. We have 4 over 10. Now, step 5 is look to see if we simplify. 4 and 10 do have something in common. They're both even. So we can divide the numerator and denominator by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So our final answer is 2/5.